Ready?
Ready. Welcome back.
All right. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Calvin.
And we are back. We are talking about relationships.
Yes.
And today we're talking about...
Still.
what was that? Still.
I don't know.
Relationships.
Sounded fun to say.
We're talking about expectations.
Expectations.
Great
What's up, so?
expectations.
Is that original?
Okay, no.
I think not.
Expectations. We have expectations.
All of us have we all have expectations, yes.
We do. Whether we have thought about it or not, we have expectations of
Yes.
ourselves and of our partner.
Yes.
How can that be good and how can that be bad for us?
Well, I think any expectation that you really recognize is always a good expectation in and of itself. But when you talk about relationships, it really becomes important to really know what it is you're expecting, one, of yourself, and then what are you expecting of the relationship in general. A lot of people go into relationships not really defining or fully understanding the expectations that it's there.
So you really think that any expectation that we understand that we have is good.
Any expectation that you have awareness of.
You really like us being aware of our expectations.
Yes.
So I think we try to trick each other with expectations with relationships.
Sure.
We try to test each other. We say, in the back of our mind, I want this person to open the door. I'm going to go on a date. I want this person to open the door for me because if he opens the door for me, it shows that he's a gentleman. If he doesn't, then you have something you're going to do or think about it. And so you're really testing. And while that may be okay to find out about a person, once you know the person and you're in the relationship, to keep on testing that person with expectations that they don't know can turn on you, right? It really
absolutely, because a lot of those tests come from really insecurity. Or even fear.
Insecurity of the person giving the test.
Insecurity of the person giving the test. Or it really comes out of fear because what if? What if I'm right? Or
what if this person leaves me? So I'm going to test them.
What if this person can't give me what I'm expecting?
Okay.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. A lot of us have expectations, but we just don't. We try to avoid them or ignore the expectations.
With ourselves or with our partner?
Well, with both. I mean, when you go into a relationship, we have an expectation of going into the relationship. Why are you going into a relationship? Why not just stay single? Why this particular person? What do you want to get out of the relationship? All of those are expectations. An expectation might be, I want to have someone that helps me financially where all of the financial burden is not on myself. It'd be great to share that burden with someone.
So that's what you're saying, like we have these expectations and then we're ignoring them at the same time. They're kind of
absolutely, because let's use finance, for example. If you have the expectation of, it'd be great to have someone that helps around with finances, and then you get with someone and he or she is beautiful and wonderful and they smell good and they're your smelling good is
very important
an expectation. It's a good thing. But, they hit 99% of the other points, but they don't hit the financial expectation. And then as soon as you get with them, the first thing or you move in, is oftentimes when this comes out, you find out, they don't really want to work outside of the home and they want to be the stay-at-home caregiver, or they want to
I wanted them to bring an income.
Yes, or they decided to switch careers on you and you thought they were going to go into the legal field, and
now you're not being supportive of them, and that's causing problems.
Absolutely.
And
now
it
they
has to do with an expectation.
Absolutely, and their expectation might be saying, "Hey, I want to, be a waiter at Applebee's, and I don't want to be a lawyer anymore."
I love waiters at Applebee's.
Applebee's is one.
I need them because I love eating there. Okay.
Maybe we'll do an episode on food or something.
I don't know. Maybe you're hungry.
Right now on relationships, but anyway, so a lot of times we have those personal expectations of ourselves, and a lot of times we're just not forthcoming with those expectations with our partner.
You know what? If we're not even able to do that with ourselves, how in the world are we going to be able to do that with our partner?
We don't. And we get in arguments about silly things and small things when it really doesn't tap into the real root of why we're upset or why we're starting into this argument.
you know, most of us would say, boy, get all of this stuff done before you get into the relationship.
You heard it here first. Do not get into relationships without doing all of this.
But
But
that's not what people do, is it?
no.
No.
People get lonely,
No.
so people date, so people then live in and move in together, and then they get married. Those are the 4
Maybe.
steps. Maybe then.
So, and we find these things after the fact.
Right.
And it's catch-up work, and that's what typically makes it so hard, because now all of a sudden I have to look and say, well, what are my expectations? What should they be?
And when you don't do that work beforehand, and when you're not proactive about it, what happens is you find all of these things out, and it comes by surprise.
You're very disappointed.
You're very disappointed,
You're upset.
and you haven't prepared for it.
Right.
And then what happens is, instead of you being proactive and learning to respond accordingly and really progress forward, we become very reactive.
Right. The phrase that comes, this is not what I signed up for.
Right.
comes a
This is
lot.
not what. This is not what I
Sometimes.
wanted. This is not what I signed up for. Or
But we
you're not the same person.
but we have a problem with that, right? Because
Absolutely.
we really believe that people get what they ask for.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're not communicating to yourself your own expectations of this, and then definitely not to them expectations.
Yes.
Then, you know, your expectations will not be fulfilled. Why do we not communicate expectations?
I think we don't communicate expectations because I think undoubtedly it's really based in fear.
I know
What
want
is
to be
acceptance
liked, want to be
liked? You know, if I tell someone everything that I expect, they're going to think I'm high maintenance, or they're not going to be able to fulfill everything that I am asking. So
we do that on dating.
We do that on dating.
Like, oh, it's no big deal.
It's not a problem.
And inside we're thinking, oh, it's a big deal. But we're trying to judge whether we can get over it.
Maybe I can overlook it, and,
Right.
you know, or maybe I can change them.
No.
You would never do that.
Don't try to change people, please.
It's never gonna work.
They
Never gonna
have to be a person who want to go in a certain direction. They want
Right.
to change. I mean, everybody changes. We do. You don't.
Oh,
always
right.
think
You
it's
change
wrong.
organically because of the nature of the relationship and the willingness, but changing because you're being forced to.
But people,
It's not gonna
when you
work.
say, yeah, they will change themselves however they want to change
Yes.
themselves. And the question is, do you have a person who is willing to work with the changes you want and the changes they want together? But if you changing another person, never, ever, ever.
Never. So, I think the biggest thing is, one, if you're not in a relationship right now, it's really asking yourself, what is it that I'm expecting out of this relationship? And I think that, if you need to get a pen and a piece of paper, or if you don't have those things anymore, or get an iPad or computer or something.
If you're so archaic, then
Pens and number 2 pencils are
if you're
almost
way
extinct.
beyond
I mean,
our
done.
level.
Yeah, get your iPad out and just jot down, what do I expect? And just start listing certain areas. What do I expect, as far as financially and relationally and intimacy, emotionally, spiritually. Write those things down of what your expectations are. And then,
And that's before you get in.
before. Now, if you're in it, I think
still do the same
I
thing.
still say still do the same thing, and then maybe even talk with your partner, show them this video,
I don't
in a
know.
nice way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The purpose is not to really show people the video. Sure. But, do the same thing. Write down your expectations. And I think it's a great time to actually work with your partner and have them write down their expectations. And then
Right.
come together and see, do they
And
match?
check it out.
You might also find out that you have been meeting some of the expectations.
Are being met.
Or you might realize that some of the expectations you had at the beginning of the relationship, you don't necessarily have anymore. And maybe you realize they weren't really that important, or maybe you have different values.
And
right
the
now.
other thing is too is, again, back to that partner doesn't have to meet all of your expectations. So if there is an area where that partner is not meeting an expectation, give them a break. I think this is the biggest help for us.
Sure,
is giving each
absolutely.
other a break and saying, hey, you know what? That is why I have this friend or this group,
some
of hobbies
organization,
or something that I
absolutely.
do, because I find fulfillment for myself in that. And when you allow each other to be able to be fulfilled
Yes.
in those other areas, but again, you need to know what it is you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Because if you're just grumpy because you know something's up, but you're not even sure what's up,
Right.
or you're trying to make the other person guess what's up, that's yeah.
It's too much work, and it just really never works well for either party. So, yes, absolutely. Take those expectations as really a guideline to what is it that you're expecting out of life, your life in general.
And that goes back to creating your own structure. So if you can know what your expectations
Yes.
are, what you want, then you can start creating a structure for yourself, and then your structure, your business, because you like to use the word business.
Right. The business of your relationship.
The business of your relationship, the business of your life can start taking form.
Yes.
And that's what we want for you. So let us know what you think.
Absolutely.
And,
let us know how it's working.
Right.
Or not working. Again, our
And
job is, expectation.
our expectation and our hope is that we can start answering some of your specific questions.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, until next time.
We'll see you later.
See you later. Bye.